When thinking of Canadian motorsport, the outside world usually thinks of Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal and its history with NASCAR, F1, and more. A bit closer to Toronto, however, lies a 10-turn, 3.957-kilometer course opened in 1961. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, also known as Mosport, has seen its fair share of NASCAR and F1 action, with NASCAR still visiting the venue annually by way of the NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series. Now, SRCA takes their turn at Mosport, visiting Canada for 36 laps this evening. Welcome, race fans, to Pit Stop TV. We are live to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter tonight. Trey Patton with me in the booth. I am Andrew Cardinale IV, and this is Pit Stop TV's live coverage of the SRCA Indy Pro 2000 series at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. We join you tonight from the virtual Bowmanville, Ontario for the second race on this season. And Trey, we're already halfway through qualifying this evening. Aaron Smith already lighting things up, but he's not going to be the only quick driver here this evening. Nathan Lewis, at least, was in attendance. We'll see if he puts down his qualifying lap. And if Nathan does, of course, we know here at Pit Stop TV, Nathan Lewis is one of the road ringers in SRCA, and he will easily be one of the faster, if not the fastest drivers on the track this evening. Aaron Smith, though, right there with him. We've also seen John Morgan and Rick Ray Vaughn, interestingly, follow them up towards the top of the speed charts. We have a few more drivers yet to qualify. Again, Nathan Lewis is not. Let's see, Richard Coulomb just did. Justin Ford has not turned a lap. Neither has Nate Stewart, but we are very, very close to the end of qualifying here and seeing how this field will line up. And John Morgan goes fastest.
Yeah, I was just watching John. He looked like he had a really good, even seeing his practice time was a little bit slower than Aaron's, but as you see there, he takes the pole by about 44 hundredths of a second. So no, Nate Stewart doesn't look like he set a time yet. Justin Ford is not, and you said Nathan Lewis doesn't even look like he's in the session right now. So.
Well, you know what? Let's go on board with our current fastest driver. Well, never mind. It changes. Aaron Smith goes fastest now, so we'll go on board with Aaron Smith as he exits turn number 1. Let's take you on a ride around Mosport down turn 2. It's an interesting little hill, and you can easily lose the back end of the race car. It's almost a hairpin for turn 3. A very sweeping corner. Turns you about 180 degrees around. You head then up the hill just a little bit before you go right back down it as you go around turn 4, almost just like turn 2. Again, it's easy to lose the back end. You stop real hard here for turn 5, Moss Corner, and suddenly you're headed down the back stretch here at Mosport. And again, a lot of very interesting corners, fast sweeping corners. It's easy to lose the back end down each hill. Then you have this long back straightaway to stretch the legs. And suddenly you're rifling off into turn number 8, where it's easy to overdrive and easy to go off of the racetrack when you exit that long back stretch, the Mario Andretti straightaway. Through turn 8 and turn 9, you set yourself up for turn 10. This is where we've seen so many NASCAR truck races end in, crinkled sheet metal and heavy, hot tempers. Around turn 10, you finally complete the lap. Now he's back through 1. I mean, this place just has a lot of interesting opportunities for a lot of interesting moves. Some passes, some maybe bump and runs as well. You're likely not going to see bump and runs this evening, of course. We are in open wheel cars, the Indy Pro 2000. But Trey, it really opens these guys up to a lot of interesting moves to try and get their spots throughout this race. Aaron Smith now, well, still fastest. Don Hunter is actually in 4th behind Madden and Morgan. Morgan in 2nd, Madden in 3rd. Rick Ray Vaughn currently rounds out your top 5.
And looking up, drivers still do not set a lap. Nate Stewart, he's cutting it close. He's coming up on the final section of the track. He might be able to get a lap in. Justin Ford still not set a time. Nathan Lewis, but as you mentioned, Rick Ray Vaughn rounding out our top 5. Looks like Nate Stewart might be the last one to get a lap as he's coming into the final corner, and we'll see what he gets down for a time.
Out of turn 10, Nate Stewart across the start-finish line with 10 seconds to spare. He only goes to 14th of 15 that have qualified so far. If Nathan Lewis joins us, we'll have a total of 17 vehicles as Justin Ford will line up 16th. He has not completed a time just yet, and he's not going to this evening. Well, actually, no, I'd say that he might. If he keeps the rest of this lap clean, he just might get his lap in, because we actually, of course, as qualifying ends, iRacing gives you time to finish up your lap, so we still have a minute and a half of qualifying left.
Yeah, I forgot about the additional qualifying time. I noticed it looks like Scott Ramler's registered for position 2, so that's another good name in here.
I think there's a few extras that maybe have not turned a time in practice or qualifying, and therefore aren't showing up on a TVO, but Justin Ford now through turn 9, headed down to the right-hander of turn 10 again, where so many late race passes for the win have been made. Across the start-finish line, will he get a time in? It's Justin Ford, 16th best out of 16. So Justin Ford will line up 16th still, and there we go. Scottless Rambler has connected to the session, and that will add to our field, and we're actually looking at 18 possibly cars this evening, which is a pretty solid turnout for Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I'm glad we've got a nice selection of drivers. Rick Ray Vaughn, of course, in attendance as well. He will look to start this race from the 5th position. And before we get into things here, Trey, let's take a look at our point standings. Rick Ray Vaughn actually comes in 2nd place behind Spencer Madden, who had a great run at Iowa last week in the doubleheader. Almost got those 100 points in just 1 week. 94 points as he leaves Iowa. It's Rick Ray Vaughn in 2nd at 83. Aaron Smith quite a ways back in 3rd at just 68 points compared to the guys ahead of him.
Yeah, and then you see Kyle Cuthbertson in 4th, Eric Block. Actually, we have a tie for 5th with Eric Block and Sheldon Lockey, both with 50 points. Ryan Singleton Young in 7th place, rather. John Morgan in 8th, Will Klein in 9th, and Justin Ford rounding out our top 10.
And an extra little tidbit, Justin Ford actually, in the last graphic that I used to make this graphic that you're looking at here, he was still in 10th place from last season. So that's kind of interesting that he kind of just recycled himself back into 10th place. Another little interesting tidbit this evening, Trey, is over on Facebook, of course, www.facebook.com/pitstoptv. You can follow us for our live broadcasts and social media updates. We just surpassed, as of last night's Bluegrass iRacing Series broadcast, just surpassed 2,000 likes. And that's actually a big deal for us, because we're moving up in the world, of course. We're getting more and more fans watching here at Pit Stop TV, but also it just, of course, at every 1,000, you just got to take a step back and think about that for a second. That's 2,000 people. And then over on YouTube, as of starting this broadcast, we're under 15 away from 1,000 subscribers. So a couple of milestones here towards the mid to late stage of the year of 2020. I think sweetening 2020 up for us, but as these guys get ready for their pace lap, of course, we do have a field to walk down. We talked about where a lot of these guys are starting this evening, but Aaron Smith will roll off our pole sitter. John Morgan to his left side in 2nd place. Back to row number 2. It is Don Hunter and Spencer Madden. Row 3 gives us Rick Ray Vaughn in 5th, Eric Block in 6th. And then it's Cole Freilich in 7th. Elijah Grassi will start 8th place. And 9th gives us Daniel Falkingham, while 10th is Tom Mercier.
11th, we have Kerry Smith. 12th, Anthony Pritchett. 13th, Ian Wilson. Nate Stewart rolls off in 14th. 15th, Richard Columby. Justin Ford in 16th. Nathan Lewis, 18th. And it's listing as Scott Rambler will be 17th, rather. Nathan Lewis will be 18th. Vice versa.
So we'll see which way they end up lining up when they come to the green. I'm actually looking for Nathan Lewis. Looks like he is not going to join us this evening, unfortunately, but Scottless Rambler will be. We do have a number 57 in the field tagging on to the back of things, and his paint will load shortly. You see just the blank white car right now. It's working on gathering that. But up at the front of the field, Aaron Smith leads us to the green here in just a moment. Aaron Smith, he doesn't usually, I feel like, I don't usually see him in these races, but I really think it's just, unfortunately, he ends up getting caught in other people's messes and isn't usually there at the end of the race to show that he's actually quite good in one of these open wheel cars, especially on a road course this evening. So we'll see what Aaron Smith has for these guys. And he's especially good at road racing in a NASCAR stock car. I know that much. He loves the stuff, and he joins a bunch of leagues that do it. But this evening, an Indy Pro, well, I guess Pro Mazda 18, if you will, definitely changing things up for the driver to 70.
Yeah, most definitely. I think, if I remember correctly, I think we talked to Aaron last week, or maybe we were talking to somebody else. But I know he's been looking forward to this race because, as we saw in practice qualifying, he's definitely really, really quick here. So I'm ready to see what these guys can do for us and put on a show for these guys watching.
A couple of evenings ago, going into the Operation E Motorsport broadcast, we heard about some people calling those Mazda MX-5s Bs. Well, these guys sound like Hornets in that case, because it really does just sound like a massive buzz going around the racetrack from first all the way through 17th place this evening. They're getting ready to exit turn number 10, ready to go green flag racing. And again, it's Aaron Smith, P1. The green flag flies, and we're at it for 36 laps at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Aaron Smith leads into turn 1.
See John Morgan and Spencer Madden, Rick Ray Vaughan trying to get back up into the next one, way out, 1, 2, 3 cars, one into the tire barrier back there, as you can see. Nathan Lewis loses the lead, Rick Ray Vaughan into the grass. I believe that's
several cars off.
Oh, wow.
Several cars go off of the racetrack. Spencer Madden, one of them, and it looks like Eric Block was the other. No, that was Don Hunter, rather, in the 35 car. Multiple cars go way off of the racetrack and lose a ton of time. John Morgan now, the race leader. You mentioned Aaron Smith losing the lead. So Aaron Smith back into P2. Cole Freilich somehow nets himself a P3 through Moss Corner. He's got Tom Mercier all over him, all the way from 10th already. Now he's going for 3rd.
Yeah, this is a very eventful first lap, and we're not even done yet. I mean, we're just getting started. I mean, if you guys like what you're seeing now, you're in for a treat here. As we said, Mosport provides some great racing. As we see here, John Morgan leading lap 1, Aaron Smith following in suit. Here's we're on board with Aaron Smith trying to regain that lead.
And we complete lap 1. John Morgan swaps positions with Aaron Smith. Meanwhile, Tom Mercier gets clear of the number 15 of Cole Freilich, who drops into 4th place. Eric Block is currently in 5th spot. And Scott List Rambler, from the back of the grid to the front, he's already 6th spot, and I guarantee you he's going to keep moving. Scott List Rambler somehow into 6th position. That's pretty impressive. Rick Ray Vaughan drops into 7th after starting 5th place.
See, and this is, I'll reiterate, I don't remember if I said this last week, but it comes down to attrition. And then you want to talk about Scott List Rambler right here. Attrition and patience, and just starting in the back and just avoiding all that definitely worked in his favor. I mean, as we said, he started 17th, and he's working his way up into the top 5.
Currently on board with Ian Wilson, looking back at Doc Hunter. This could be a battle, rather. Don Hunter instead of Doc. There we go. Don Hunter goes on by before they even get to turn 8, I think, as they were cresting the hill. And he goes by Rick Ray Vaughan, so that's interesting that Rick Ray Vaughan loses that spot so easily. Rick is... Oh, he's coming in right here. Does he have a penalty from the start, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But I know a lot of those guys on the first lap that we saw go off. So, like, Spencer Madden and all those guys, as you can see, they're down a lap, 2 laps. Pritchett, Gary Smith, Spencer Madden's back 20 seconds or so. So I don't know, he may have had some wing damage by going off, maybe jumping a curb or getting into the gravel, or maybe just hit the grass, or I'm not quite sure, so, or could have had a time penalty.
Well, we've had a pass for the lead, and Aaron Smith is up to P1. John Morgan in 2nd. Cole Freilich actually gets ahead of Tom Mercier for 3rd, and Tom Mercier falling way back right now. He's getting passed by another, it looks like, as he loses 5th place to Scott List Rambler. So Scott Rambler moving his way up as Mercier drops back.
Yeah, Rambler is just picking away at the field here, as we said before, started 17th, made his way into the top 5. Starting to make a run on that 37 machine of Eric Block. As you can see, he's not that far behind. I mean, you can see here, actually, John Morgan goes fast with a eater of a time.
It's a 1:12.791, but Don Hunter goes faster, and then Daniel Falkingham. So these tires have come into temperature here, Trey, and they're starting to get pretty quick. John Morgan still all over Aaron Smith for the race lead. Cole Frelick has separated himself from Eric Block by about a second and a third, or rather a second and a tenth. I don't see any other really close battling aside from this group here with Ramler, Mercier, Hunter, and Falkingham all going faster that lap.
Yeah, these guys are definitely have reached the optimum tire temperature for sure. As we're seeing Mercier trying to run down Scottless Rambler. As we're on board with Mercier right now, you can see him trying to catch that ever so slightly little bit of slipstream from Scott Rambler, but I don't think he's close enough to really get a lot of it.
So Aaron Smith continues to lead. This is the onboard then from John Morgan looking up ahead at P1. This is one of the better battles we have on the racetrack. Smith goes faster now, a 1:12.134. We'll see if anyone goes purple on this lap to beat him. But Aaron Smith turning up the wick, and he wants to leave John Morgan, and he has. While we've been talking about him, he has actually put on a couple of extra tenths as Cole Frelick stays ahead of Eric Block by about a second. Scottless Rambler trying to get on through the field. He's up into fifth, as we already mentioned. And then through the rest of the top 10, it's Tom Mercier, Don Hunter, Daniel Falkingham, Ian Wilson, Richard Coulomb. Justin Ford has put himself into 11th spot. Spencer Madden in 12th. Then it's Nate Stewart in 13th. Anthony Pritchett in 14th. Elijah Gracia in 15th. Kiri Smith in 16th. Rick Ray Vaughn, after pitting after just a couple of laps, is 17th spot. And I just think he decided this wasn't quite for him. Nathan Lewis officially in 18th, but I don't think made the start of the race.
Yeah, Rick Ray Vaughn decided, I think he left the session deciding, I don't think he really, as you said, not for me tonight. And then as we're looking side by side, you see this battle between Falkingham and Mercier there. That cycled out pretty quick.
And issues for Cole Frelick. He's now lost third and fourth to Eric Block and Scottless Rambler as Smith goes faster, drops into the 111s. But Cole Frelick suddenly back into fifth spot. Don Hunter in behind him, trying to get maybe that fifth spot away as Falkingham goes on by Mercier. So Falkingham starting to light things up. We saw him go faster a little while ago, and now he gets by Mercier. But I think he's actually lost a spot or two. Regardless, Daniel Falkingham finding some speed now as we're on lap 6 of 36. Ian Wilson, Richard Coulomb, they're pretty well separated back here in 9th and 10th. And then from Coulomb back to Justin Ford is a 10-second gap. Ford currently riding in 11th. There's really not too many battles at this point. They've got themselves pretty well sorted out around the racetrack.
Yeah, looking throughout the field, probably the closest battles, I guess if you do want to call it that, is probably what we're currently looking at here. You could probably put about 3 cars within, I'd say maybe under a blanket, but definitely this battle between Cole Frelick and Don Hunter right here, and then Falkingham itching ever so slightly closer, so we get a great shot of him riding the curves there.
Purple for both of the front runners. It's Smith, then Morgan going faster at 1:11.829. These guys continue to just keep going faster and faster and faster. Cole Frelick sits in 5th. Rambler has moved ahead of him, of course, as we've mentioned. Don Hunter still trying to pursue this 15 car. I'm just not so sure that he's going to get there. It seems like dirty air is certainly not working with these guys, and you're really just going to have to wait on a mistake.
As you can see there, he got a little tight going into that corner there, as you mentioned pre-race. Can be a little tricky as we go into another one of the more tricky.
Whoa, Rambler and Frelick spin! And Hunter gets involved. Rambler went around as well, and that's some wing damage then for Don Hunter. Who got through that? Rambler, I think, got back on the racetrack and got through it. Frelick still trying to get himself back collected.
Contact.
Oh my gosh, 3 cars. All 3 of them, Hunter, Rambler, and Mercier. Will this prompt a full course yellow? We've got a car stopped. It's Rambler. Yes, it is. We get a full course yellow. Cars flipping, 3 of them in total involved. And they're still wrecking. Tom Mercier gets collected by Daniel Falkingham.
man. I think the luckiest guy out of all of that
Is
was Cole Frelick.
This is what happens after the fact with Falkingham and Mercier. Oh my gosh, guys.
That's not it at all.
We're going to see what happens here with these drivers. This is going to be Mercier, Hunter, and Ramler. This is from up above. What happens here? So 3 wide. They're going to go over the crest, and
tire
my gosh.
contact. Oh man, that Rambler just barrel rolling and lands on his lid. It's it. I mean, he landed on his wheels, and you just see Frelick, and I'm not quite sure who is behind him. Just scoot on right by. We're gonna get another.
It's hard to say if anyone's properly at fault for this one. I think just a lack of, 3 wide awareness. Yeah, Mercier squeezes over into Hunter as Hunter kind of follows the racing line a little bit, and they just meet in the middle. And unfortunately, really, I think the worst off is going to be Scottless Rambler going up and over like that. But then this is what happens afterwards, where Mercier is trying to get righted, and then he pulls out, and this is a crest. So we'll get the onboard from Falkingham in a second. This is a crest, so Falkingham probably had no clue he was there. I do want to find out just to be certain. If we can go to, there we go, we'll get this angle from Falkingham's perspective.
As you say, we're coming up on a crest here, so we're actually.
Well, there's the red blob.
Here. You can kind of.
No, that's questionable at best.
That's really hard to tell. As you mentioned, we could see that red blob. You got to factor into like he's coming in there at a pretty high speed, but I know that iRacing is at least gonna tell you like local yellow. I mean, at least he knows there's something up ahead.
Well, and these drivers are all talking to each other as well, so you've got to. At some. Oh, whoa! Was that a car coming at him? Let's watch this then with Daniel Falkingham.
Oh, he just left front just gave out.
And he comes back across right in front of somebody. Who was that? That was Anthony Pritchett. They just came right across the track in front of. I mean, it's the same thing as Tom Mercier, but almost a bit worse, because that's a surprise attack, because Falkingham's completely off the racetrack, and at least Mercier was on the racetrack just trying to get turned around.
Yeah, they're just fortunate that no additional contact was made there. But
yeah, thankfully Pritchett took evasive action. It could have been the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Nonetheless, we are under caution. All that there. God, that was I don't even know what to say about that wreck. I mean, obviously we can't really put that at fault. I mean, that was just 3 wide being 3 wide, but that was a pretty massive wreck.
So at this point, the question really is, when do these drivers pit? It's a little bit early for these guys to pit. We're only about a quarter of the way into things, but they could try and up to come in for tires, maybe even fuel, and take less later on in the race. So if you're somebody back around 10th spot, that might be advantageous to your effort. In fact, let's see if anybody has under this yellow. Anybody that wasn't involved in a crash anyways. It doesn't look like anybody has, which is very interesting to me, because it almost seems like a pretty solid option to go ahead, pit, and and get some tires and fuel and set yourself up a little bit better for the end of the race. But these guys do, again, have that one pit stop looming, so I think that's where they're all at. You don't want to have to warm the tires back up and all of that. Go through all of that trouble, and you still have to pit again anyways. Granted, tires are generally a no-no, but it's not a rule, to my knowledge. It's just a gentleman's rule. Usually you don't go for new tires, so that, of course, is going to play into that as well. As far as fuel goes, again, they could have come in and topped off and taken less later on, but I think they're just, everybody knows they still have to pit one more time. Why do it now?
Right. As you mentioned, I mean, we're only about a third of the way in. I think it's too early. Plus, I think these guys are on a 50 or 60%.
Well, yes, they have their custom amounts of fuel. That's what I'm saying. They've got to pit one more time. They've still got to pit
Oh,
up
right.
ahead.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, these guys always have the one pit stop in their race that they have to make. It's a matter of when you make that, and if they pit now under this yellow, they could have shortened that pit stop later, and that green flag pit time is much more important to limit than it will be later on. So, again, I think if I was one of these guys, I would have gone ahead and come in for fuel. If I wasn't up in, say, the top 3, I think I would have gone ahead and taken fuel. Of course, that does mean that you have to come back through the field, which I think is also weighing on these drivers' minds. Regardless, we're coming to the restart on lap 10, coming to lap 11 here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and we're going to do it all again.
Yeah, hopefully they got that got the jitters out, and we can maybe not see what we saw in the first lap. I mean, we saw a lot of guys overran the corner and went down into turn 2 and 3, and guys were overrunning it there. And hopefully now that these guys have got some laps under their belt, we can hopefully see that again.
So just past a quarter of the way through this event, we had to outlast one last night where we were counting the milestones along the way, and I think this evening suddenly we're doing the same thing. Green flag flies out of turn number 10 on lap number 10, coming to lap 11. Already a stack up with Block and Freilich. Freilich already trying to go for that spot, can't quite get it, so Smith will lead Morgan, then Block through turn 1. Ian Wilson all over Cole Freilich out of turn 1.
Yeah, looking further back, you see one car off the track surface. They're not quite sure who that was. We got another one off further down here, one spinning out, one into the outside tire barriers on the right side as well. But looks like we're going to keep going. Not quite sure who that was. We're looking at Daniel Falkingham right now, currently sitting in P10. Scottless Rambler right behind him.
So Rambler went off, Madden spun, and they all keep going somehow. Smith leads out of Moss Corner. He's got Morgan in tow, and it's Eric Block behind him, then Cole Freilich. Pritchett, your top 5.
Yeah, we have a pretty decent looking battle back here around... actually, I was on a replay. I was looking at something that already happened. I apologize.
So Aaron Smith is going to lead the lap off of the restart, crossing the line to complete lap 11. It's Aaron Smith still in the race lead. Morgan falling a little ways behind. I think the largest deficit we've had between first and second all race long to this point. Eric Block in third, then it's Freilich, Pritchett, Ford, Coulomb, Spencer Madden, Ian Wilson, and Daniel Falkingham one lap down in 10th spot, and he's got Scott List Rambler not so far behind. So this battle actually between 3 cars one lap down. It's Falkingham, then Rambler, and then somewhere back there is Elijah Gracia in the 14 car in 12th spot. Not the season Gracia's wanted to open up here, but hey, a season's a season, I suppose, and you got to get it started somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. Up here looking at the Cole Freilich machine. No, that's not Cole Freilich. That is Aaron Smith. My apologies. We see he's pulled away by 1.4 seconds, just about over John Morgan, and about 2.5 over Eric Block. This man is continuing to pull a gap as we go through the S's into the final section of the track.
Not too many battles on the racetrack, aside from the one right here. And this isn't even with cars that are all for position, because Cole Freilich is actually following up Falkingham and Rambler that are both one lap down. So they're battling amongst all the leaders, and Falkingham actually leading the way in that battle over Scott List Rambler. Some ways back here is Anthony Pritchett, and then even further back is Richard Coulomb. So really, things have mellowed out as far as battles for position go, unless you're looking at this one with Falkingham and Rambler.
Looks like Falkingham off the track. Rambler gets on by. Looks like Cole Freilich got on right by Falkingham there. That could have been really unfortunate.
Just like the lap car incidents we saw last night, isn't that right, at Richmond? That was certainly something.
Yeah, most definitely. Luckily for Cole Fralick, he had enough time to react and get around Buckingham there, so gets away scot-free there, right behind Scott Ramler.
Well, then I guess he's not so scot-free, is he? Because up in the windshield, he's got, or I guess past the windscreen, he's got a Scott. Ian Wilson, it looks like, with trouble. He comes into the pit lane, and we'll see what happened to the number 58 car to prompt this one. Did he just pit all alone? Yeah, he does. I don't know. This could be the start of the pit cycle, actually, because it's a little close to halfway, a little early, but this actually could be the start of the pit cycle for these drivers. Ian Wilson, you can kind of see the top of his car there in the pit lane, and you have to wonder if this is scheduled or not.
Yeah, I mean, we're on lap 14 of 30, yeah, 36, so not quite halfway. This could be a scheduled pit stop. I don't know if he had any damage at all. So, I mean, he could just be yeah, I mean, it looks like he's back going, so that might have been an early scheduled stop, but maybe he went in a little earlier than he wanted to.
I quickly want to call attention to something. Do you see the Michelin man up there?
I do.
Is it just me, or does it look like the flag he's holding has the white squares on the edges cut out?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's an iRacing made mistake, or a mistake that was on the real track.
Yeah.
That doesn't look right at all. All the white squares on the edge of the checkered flag are gone.
Oh, we might have to look into that. I've never noticed that.
You know, I don't think I would have ever noticed it either, aside from that one blimp shot that one time. But,
what if it's one of those Easter eggs?
You know, an Easter egg for who? Who's requesting their white squares be removed from their checkered flags? Because whoever is, I think, needs to just stop.
Yeah.
Regardless, we're rolling closer and closer to halfway in this 36-lap race. Aaron Smith leads after our full course yellow down the Mario Andretti straight, which actually happened right up here with Scottless Rambler, Tom Mercier, and Don Hunter. And again, just a lot of questionable events all happened at once, unfortunately, and put 3 cars up and over into the barriers rather hard. John Morgan, 2.3 seconds back of race leader Aaron Smith, and then it's Eric Block, another 5 seconds back to Cole Fralick, and then 4 back to Aaron Pritchett. So the entire field, aside from Richard Coulomb and suddenly Spencer Madden, very, very spaced out.
Yeah, very spaced out indeed. We're looking at the 86 of Coulomb right now. Spencer Madden following in tow behind him. This, I believe, is the closest battle on track. Yeah.
This is just about the battle on the racetrack. This is the whole field has gotten very spread out, and Madden easily going to go by Coulomb into one. I think Coulomb gave that one to him, but Madden actually ran over the bumps, and that's something that you got to worry about. Running over those bumps on the inside of turn 1 can certainly unsettle a race car and throw you for a loop. Yeah, this is that's the closest action we have anywhere on the racetrack right now. Aaron Smith out to lunch.
Yeah, he's checked out to about a 2.6 second lead. So we see here just nothing in front of him, nothing behind him. Well, you can see him a little bit back there, but nothing for him to worry about. Just looks like a Sunday drive for Aaron Smith right now.
Oh, yeah, things are very separated up front. And across the entire racetrack, I think actually the lead battle is rather close when you look at some of the other battles. I mean, you've got 6 seconds between Block and Fralick, 3.5 between Fralick and Pritchett. I do hear one car in the pit lane. I think that's still Tom Mercier, so nothing to worry about. Looks like he's done for the day. So I wonder then if Ian Wilson's pit was planned, because again, these drivers are getting close to their pit window, but nobody else has pitted just yet.
Yeah, I do expect to see cars come down very soon, because I know we've just passed, I think, the halfway. Or no, lap 18 will be the halfway. So we're coming up close. I think we'll see cars pit, and probably within the next 4 to 5 laps. But coming back to Ian Wilson there, I don't know if that was planned or not. Still feel as if it was a little early.
So 20 laps to go the last time by the stripe. We're coming to 19 this time by as we grow ever and ever closer to that halfway point. And I'm making such an emphasis rather on the halfway point because that's kind of where you would expect to split the race in half. So once we pass that halfway point, you know drivers need to pit, and you don't want to keep going and going and going. You generally just want to get that pit out of the way early. Well, you don't really have the same benefit to undercutting, there we go. Undercutting the driver because you're not taking tires. There's still a benefit to pitting early and just getting it out of the way and then starting your attack on the drivers ahead, and you can generally use it to your advantage to cycle out ahead of somebody that you were trying to pass.
Yeah, absolutely, but yeah, we haven't really seen much of that. I don't know if we will see much of that here. I mean,
So coming to complete now 18 laps, and there it is, the pit stop from Aaron Smith. He will come down the pit lane and take service. So Aaron Smith, the first of the leaders to pit. We'll wait for other drivers to do the same. Morgan Block stay out. We'll see what Freilich does. Looks like Freilich will stay out. Looks like he's going to pit. Cole Freilich going to opt to come down the pit lane. Pritchett stays out. We're going to wait for Madden's call, Coulomb's call, Ford's call, and then towards the back, we still have to wait on Scottless Rambler and Daniel Falkingham. Actually, Daniel Falkingham, let's see, no, he has not pitted yet, so we still have to wait on these guys to come in for their fuel stops, but Aaron Smith, the first of the leaders to do so, pits from the lead and already back on the racetrack.
yeah, I was expecting for him to pit there. I had a little bit of a issue on my end, so didn't know he pit until just now, but I didn't expect anything less. As you can see, I mean, he's got about an 18-second gap, which I think if John Morgan and Eric Block pit soon regardless, Aaron Smith's going to regain the lead.
A slow Daniel Falkingham there as well, or so it looked like, but he gets things recovered and he loses that spot to Elijah Gracia. John Morgan comes across the start-finish line. He stays out one more lap. Eric Block stays out one more lap, and Aaron Smith already into third. Aaron Pritchett actually loses that spot, or Anthony Pritchett rather loses that spot. And so Anthony Pritchett, he still has to come in at some point. We'll see if he comes in this time. Nope. Spencer Madden all over him. Suddenly a battle for position.
Yeah, definitely the closest battle on track besides the battle for 7th between Cole Freilich and Justin Ford. Nonetheless, we see Pritchett and Madden starting to battle it out a little bit here. Not too much going on here yet. Spencer Madden's still about half a second back. As I say that, he gets a huge run going to the right side here, and makes that pass look very easy.
So Madden on by for 4th. Aaron Smith, meanwhile, is trying to put some time here on John Morgan and Eric Block. We'll see how successful he is in that effort. John Morgan stays out another lap. We'll see what Eric Block does this time by. He also stays out. So Aaron Smith, he's just got to run those guys down. It's pretty cut and dry at this point. He does have a lap car here of Elijah Gracia to deal with. We'll see if Elijah gets out of the way or if he possibly holds Aaron Smith back just a little bit. The 14 car up ahead, and that's going to hurt Aaron Smith's corners, and there we go. Elijah pulls over and lets Aaron go on by. So respect there between drivers, and Aaron might have lost maybe a tenth and all of that, so it all works out in the end. Pritchett back on by Madden because Madden has come in for his pit stop. We'll see what Falkingham does behind Pritchett into 2, and he stays back of him. Falkingham did go around and surrender that spot to begin with. Freilich is currently, he just went on by Madden for 5th spot. Spencer Madden falls to 7th now as Justin Ford still is not pitted.
Yeah, everyone that hasn't pitted, I expect them, lap 21 now, I expect them to be in probably within the next 2 laps. The leaders, as we can see here, Aaron Smith still has about an 18.5-second gap back or to John Morgan there, so I don't think he's really been pushing.
Well, John Morgan comes in right
so.
here. In turn number 10, John Morgan pits from the race lead, and he loses that race lead now to Eric Block, who stays out one more time around. Aaron Smith only has to make up 14 seconds, but will he go by John Morgan in the pit lane? That's really the question here. We'll see where John Morgan exits. He's the second car in pit lane. The yellow blur goes on by. Aaron Smith has passed him, and a much longer pit stop, a whole second almost for John Morgan, and a slower pit entry. He lost a second in the pit entry. He lost a second in the pit stop, and who knows how much more time before the pit in cone Aaron Smith maximized over John Morgan. So the gap post pit stop is actually 8 seconds between those two. It was only 2 seconds, so now John Morgan has to contend with Anthony Pritchett, who has not pitted just yet.
Yeah, he's got to work on being patient here because he actually, I don't think these guys might. No, I don't think they took tires, as you said. Gentlemen, roll here. Yeah.
John Morgan goes on by Anthony Pritchett down the Mario Andretti straightaway and into turn 8. And Trey, that's one of the prime passing opportunities actually, but you cannot mess it up. For the simple reason of you're coming down a long straightaway up over a crest suddenly, and it can kick the car into an interesting position as Pritchett now pits in turn number 10. But it can certainly kick the car into a weird attitude and change things up pretty quickly for you. Eric Block exits the pit lane, missed his pit stop. So now he comes out behind John Morgan, and Aaron Smith suddenly 8 seconds clear of Morgan.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to mess it up there, up over the crust, because that can definitely upset the car, like you said. But yeah, I was expecting Pritchett to come in. That's why you didn't really see him battling John Morgan very much there. He cycled back into second now. Aaron Smith regains the lead after pit stops have cycled through. And I haven't really expected anything less as we see Anthony Pritchett come out of pit road now.
And it looks like Ian Wilson is going to end up, well, no, he pitted about 9 laps ago, so yeah, that's correct, but he's a whole lap down Ian Wilson in 12th spot. He's lost the position to Daniel Falkingham as well, who does still have to come down the pit lane, we believe. These guys only ran to about halfway, so they're not running their full fuel capacity, I don't believe. But we'll see what Falkingham can do, and if he can stay out on this tank of fuel. Regardless, he's well behind the race leaders. And yeah, he dips back into 1 lap down. For a moment, it was showing him on the lead lap. I think that was just scoring, trying to reconfigure himself. He lets John Morgan go on by, but it's an 8-second gap, and that's not going to do a whole lot. The only thing that is going to affect is the battle between Morgan and Block, only a second and a half apart.
It looks like this is the closest battle on track, other than you can see on our little timing screen on the side, between Justin Ford and Scottless Rambler. But we are on board, I believe, with Eric Block, as we see him trying to catch up to John Morgan. No, actually, yeah. John Morgan is the first car up there, and that's Falkingham in the middle.
So everything spreads back out here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and we're coming to 12 laps to go as Aaron Smith crosses the start-finish line, this time by 12 laps remain out of 36, and it's been a rather uneventful one, save the first 10 laps where things were hectic, and then right off of that restart, and as soon as we got through that restart, man, these guys spread out, and it's been rather dull since then.
Yeah, I figured once these guys got a few laps under their belt and got the road course jitters out, that it would spread out fairly quick. As we see, the field did pan out very quick after that incident there. 12 laps to go. As you see, we got about a 10-second gap.
Oh, Falkingham sideways! He saves the car, but he goes off out of turn number 3 and loses that car for a moment. I think he might have dented up the left front of the wing, but he keeps the car in one piece at least and keeps it in the right direction for the most part. Feels that car out a little bit on the exit of 5, and it looks like the car is okay, so he'll keep on going. And that battle for second rather, really is not getting any closer. It's still 1.5 seconds apart thereabouts. Now 1.63 seconds at the end of the Mario Andretti straightaway. It's really just not closing itself up. None of these battles are, as Aaron Smith continues to actually leave John Morgan. Eric Block just is not catching that 177 at all.
It doesn't look like he's catching them all. He's fallen off a little bit. Update on the battle I mentioned earlier. Looks like Rambler has passed Ford to secure the 8th spot. Nonetheless, John Morgan still trying to track down Aaron Smith, but he's back behind by about 9.5 seconds. Eric Block following in suit, as you can see right there behind him, by about another 2 seconds. So I think that is right on track right now.
And you know what, Trey? We say this is a bit of a dull race. It's rather uneventful at this point, but we have a pretty decent schedule to look forward to. We're off next week, but in 2 weeks we go to Watkins Glen with the classic boot configuration. So no backstretch chicane, but they go through the famous boot section of the course, which should be fun. And then they go through, let's see, we go to Brazil for Interlagos for 29 laps. Then it's Richmond Raceway for 125. We saw how Richmond went last night in NASCAR Cup cars. Mid-Ohio then takes the reins on September 24th for an unnamed number of laps so far. Then we go abroad. We actually go completely overseas and go to Suzuka in Japan. That should be a lot of fun. 23 laps that evening. That's going to be one of the longer races on the schedule, longer road races anyways, at 83.01 miles. This evening actually longer though, 88.52. This is also a pretty long one at 36 laps. After Suzuka, we head to Sebring, and that'll be an interesting one as well. Again, 23 laps for those drivers, and that is the international circuit, which, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in the chat or something, but I believe that is the full course at Sebring. I don't believe that would be the short one. Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway then takes over on October 15th, 78 laps there. Then we go to the Charlotte Roval, October 22nd, 2020 for another 36-lap race, but 6 miles shorter than this evening. Road Atlanta after that. Heading into November, it's Phoenix Raceway for 100 laps. That should be rather exciting. And then we have the Montreal Duels, 12 laps apiece on November 12th to almost send us off into Thanksgiving. We have Detroit between Montreal and Thanksgiving, so Detroit steps itself in there. We stay up north after Phoenix. And then, after the Thanksgiving break on November 26th, December 3rd, we go to Indianapolis to wrap this season up. A lot of good races ahead. Just to recap, I'll go back through all of those. It's Watkins Glen, Interlagos, Richmond, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Suzuka International Racing Course, then it's Sebring, Gateway, the Charlotte Roval, Road Atlanta, Phoenix Raceway, the Duels at Montreal, Detroit, Belle Isle, and Indianapolis to wrap up the season. A lot of good racing ahead. So I think just the fact that these are realistically downforce cars at a very fast and sweeping track, just stringing this field apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Just listening to you name off that schedule, I'm really hyped up now because that schedule is very exciting.
It's also worth mentioning these guys have a new vehicle, and I think we've got here we go. The comparison between these new race cars and the old Pro Mazda. We had an old 240 horsepower Mazda rotary engine powering the Legacy Pro Mazda, which is pretty cool in and of itself. That Dorito sending that car on the racetrack, but we also have now wider wheels along with an extra 35 horsepower and a proper 2-liter Mazda power plant. The transmission stays about the same. The chassis looks a bit different, but realistically, it's mostly the same in the front as far as downforce goes. The nose is a bit slimmer, the actual nose cone, and the rear wing is a bit less pronounced, and it looks like there's a wider floor pan, possibly with more streamlined side pods. Really just a more modern version with, it ditches the rather unreliable Mazda rotary engine for a more reliable, proper Mazda 2-liter. Rotary is just in their design. Not necessarily the best, but they're pretty darn cool.
Yeah, rotary engines are always pretty interesting, but as you said, not necessarily the best option. But kind of sad to see the Pro Mazda go. That was always a fun car to drive, but as I've been preparing for broadcast here, I've been putting in test laps in these cars, and honestly, I think these might be a little more fun to drive.
These cars are definitely a bit more fun, and that seems to be the consensus. And I even took a few practice laps earlier today and quite enjoyed myself a bit more than the older Pro Mazda. So certainly, I think a better car overall, and glad we have it here on iRacing. Before we wrap this race up, we're coming to 6 laps to go here shortly. Let's talk about a few of our partners here at Pit Stop TV. First up is Tucson Sound Art, your picture, your music. Quite simply, you provide the image you want on your canvas, and they will take that canvas and create a beautifully framed, a picture frame of a canvas around a box, pretty much. But in that box is a Bluetooth speaker, and with Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. So you visit TucsonSoundArt.com for more information. I didn't do a great job of explaining it right there, but essentially, you're taking a picture, putting it on some canvas. It looks really cool. It's all nice, high quality and everything. It's state-of-the-art stuff. I shouldn't say state-of-the-art, but it's top-of-the-mill stuff. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And I mean, it's legit. It's actually a really cool idea, and I'm so glad that Sound Art of Tucson has found us to help promote their stuff. And again, go to TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info. You can find out some of the pricing and the different options you can get. It's a really cool idea, really cool product. I love that they have come to us to push their product because it's a fun one to talk about, and I really hope at some point I can get one myself on my bedroom wall. I think it'd be pretty darn cool to just have a picture of whatever on my wall with a speaker built in, play some music, maybe even run the broadcast audio through that if I want to watch some back. Aaron Smith goes purple here towards the end of the race, so 1:11.641. We also want to talk about a few other partners. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. At Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, the owner, Ashley Bollier, is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. If you're looking for the best solutions for your permanent makeup concerns, give them a call today to book a consultation. You can contact them at permanentmakeupinmaine.com or call or text them at 207-358-8683. Whiplash Media is Pit Stop TV's new parent organization specializing in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, and iRacing camera packs, and more. Whiplash Media is also getting into real racing just a bit more. We've got photography, social media management, public relations, and more that we can offer up to you. We just took care of David Levine Racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway this past weekend at the Lucky Dog Racing League event, and that was a ton of fun. Believe me, we can get you taken care of. We come to 4 laps to go, though. Aaron Smith still your race leader, and he's opened up that gap to 12.5.
Yeah, Aaron Smith is on rails. We saw he just went purple, I think, a lap or two ago, and he's definitely opened that gap up 12.5 seconds now. On board with our race leader. He's just putting on a clinic tonight.
And smooth sailing ahead. We see one lap car way up there, already down the hill out of 4 towards 5, and I don't know if he's actually going to get there. He rounds Moss Corner and exits. Actually, I think he might, and that might be Richard Coulomb. It is exiting Moss Corner, so we'll see when he catches Coulomb. He's got, 3.5 laps to do it, and honestly, this just might be the only trouble that race leader Aaron Smith has between he and the race win here at Canadian Tire.
Okay. Sorry, I think I had some microphone issues there. But yeah, John Morgan following suit there, as you said. I kind of missed part of that. But Aaron Smith looks like he's definitely in the driver's seat right now, obviously, to get the win here. Obviously, a big mishap would not have him get the win, but I don't think that's in his near future at all. We see him smooth sailing, and he's just continuing to lay down fast times. So he definitely showed up with a purpose to win tonight, continually running fast, being consistent, and that is definitely paying off and showing right now.
I don't think we have any battles on the racetrack right now. Yeah, no, everything is rather spread apart. Daniel Falkingham looks like he has parked the car. You can see him there in pit lane just ahead of Tom Mercier. Looks like he's done for the evening, Tom Mercier as well. Ian Wilson, the last of the running cars, in 11th spot. Elijah Gracia ahead of him by some 18 seconds, and Elijah's in 10th. Wilson is in 11th. Justin Ford in 9th. He's another 18 seconds up the road from Elijah Gracia. Then it's 11 seconds up to Scott List Rambler. The first car one lap down. Richard Coulomb. Let's see, does he... No, he's still in the lead lap for now as Aaron Smith goes purple again. Now 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Aaron Smith continuously, wow, I cannot talk today. Continuously going purple there is showing that he definitely still has pace to run, as we see him catching up to, not sure who that is in front of him, Richard Coulomb. Looking at the back end of his car, seeing Aaron Smith going to go along the left side of him there, gets by no issue.
So Aaron Smith looks like he's now got clear seas ahead, and he's going to right the ship out of turn number 10 this time by for the white flag. And it's not a surrender flag this time. It's simply just the 1 lap to go signal for Aaron Smith. Looks like he does have 1 car way up there, but he can sit way back. He doesn't have to run race pace this time by. 1 lap to go for Aaron Smith.
Yeah, Aaron Smith put on an absolute clinic. As I mentioned before, we look back at our timing screen now, as you can see, he's pulled the gap even further. 14.3 seconds. Just absolutely unreal.
Aaron Smith out of Moss Corner for the final time. He's put a 36-lap race together, and on the last lap, he's led 29, coming to lead 30 laps of 36 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I think the only lap he didn't lead, or the only 6 laps rather, that he didn't lead were to John Morgan in second place. But he's now got 15.5 seconds back to John Morgan in the number 177. I'll try to put on a bit of a Canadian accent day as he comes out of turn number 10 this time by, and he is going to claim some Timbits here in Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and he's going to win. He's going to win the race at Canadian Tire, and he's done it. 36 laps later, I'll slip back out of that accent. It was pretty bad, I realized, but I had to get some Timbits jokes in there. Hey, I mean, when you have a race go clean and green like that from the one wreck we had all night long, I mean, you got to make some kind of excitement. John Morgan crosses the line in second. Eric Block in third. Cole Freilich, he's still coming to the race end here in fourth.
Yeah, I guess you could say that Aaron Smith's got it figured out there, huh?
I think that might have been worse than my own, which I didn't think you could do. Cole Freilich crosses the line in fourth. Spencer Madden will take fifth, and then it'll be Anthony Pritchett somewhere back here. He is coming down the Mario Andretti straight now, as Richard Coulomb did get lapped before before the end of the race there. So it's really just going to be Anthony Pritchett to end this race off. Aaron Smith, again, has done it at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and looks like he's going to burn him down in Moss Corner.
Looks like he's just got it parked right here. Not quite sure if he's going to burn it down. Seems to be parking right there. Probably taking a rest for a minute because he just put together a heck of a race.
And I probably
might
offended
coming up
every
next.
Canadian that ever watches our stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, had to create some kind of excitement there at the end. But Aaron Smith looks like he just escapes, looks like he's satisfied, doesn't need to burn him down. So you know what? Let's go ahead and immediately talk to him. We're going to step aside real quick. We'll get Smith and the rest of the top three, and we'll be back to you shortly. We welcome you back to Pit Stop TV. Very short break right there. We've got three drivers to talk to. We're going to lead off with race winner Aaron Smith. And Aaron, you win at Canadian Tire. I think you're known for doing that now between NORC and SRCA. You lead 30 of 36 laps, and, 15 seconds clear of second place. It's a pretty darn good night then.
I'd say so. Started out pretty rough. We were able to make the most of it.
Now you guys should be able to hear Aaron Smith. Looks like we had a quick audio mishap. But Aaron, again, 36 laps, and you lead 30 of them. A pretty darn good night here in Bowmanville, Ontario. Does it set you up for a pretty darn good season? Because, sometimes you're known for being kind of part-time here at SRCA, but now you just might have to run.
Yeah, I'd like to run the full season this time around. I think after the first three races, it'll certainly be worth taking a shot. But yeah, had a good race. It started out a little bit shaky, but we were able to regain our footing and pull away.
And you come in here, I believe, third in points. I'm going to double-check this real quick. I believe you are third. Yes, you come in third place, and you just might get on there pretty close to probably second place. I would imagine you'll be able to take Rick Ray Vaughn here in race number 3. It's a matter of whether or not you get close to Spencer Madden. But you're looking pretty darn good already. How do you feel about the rest of the championship? We've got some road courses that should suit your fancy ahead.
Yeah, I certainly love those road courses with these cars, and the ovals might end up being a lottery like they usually are. But either way, hopefully we'll be able to finish those races and keep on moving up through the points.
Well, then I guess the good news for you is we only have a few road courses, a few ovals ahead. I think we already had Iowa, so we should only have Richmond, Gateway. I think I'm forgetting one. Oh, Phoenix and Indianapolis. So only 5 lotteries then. You've already got one of them out of the way, so I think that's a pretty darn good chance of winning some more races. I know we had Nathan Lewis out in the field in practice. He doesn't race. Is that your only real competition here on these road courses?
Well, in the first half, we had a couple guys racing for the lead, and then we had that safety car, and then as soon as the restart came and those pit stops were over, we were pretty far ahead. So as long as we have the kind of competition we had tonight, it should be a pretty good season.
Well, Aaron, we thank you for your time. It's kind of just, I think, exactly what we should expect the rest of the season. Seems like you have these new cars figured out, and we come to Canadian Tire, a track that you're already pretty darn good at, and you lead darn near the whole thing. We thank you for your time. We thank you for showing up. Who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at SRCA for putting this one on, y'all for broadcasting, and everyone for watching. And hopefully we'll be able to put on a good show next time out.
Aaron, you put a pretty good show on despite you being 15 seconds clear of the leader there at the end. It was still pretty fun to watch. Go get him again in a couple of weeks, rather, as we go to Brazil. No, Watkins Glen is before Brazil. Have fun out there in New York.
Alrighty, thank you.
And so that's Aaron Smith, the race winner this evening. Trey, I'll let you grab Cole Freilich ahead.
Hey, Cole, it's Trey up in the booth. Got a copy.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Always good to have you back in the booth. You started 7th, finished 4th. Just talk us through the night, man. How'd it go?
That start was every bit of crazy, and I actually just went back and watched it. And me and Eric, we came about a centimeter from ending each other's night, so luckily we got away with that close call. But it was pretty tough. The car definitely had like 0 downforce, so it was kind of difficult managing that. And then on the restart, my tires, I don't know what was wrong with them. I think I heated them up because right before the yellow I had actually spun out. So I think that kind of just killed my tires, so I didn't really have much to go with. But yeah, nice little rebound from how many times I've gone off and spun tonight.
Yeah, nonetheless, I mean, a P4 finish is always a pretty good day. Always a top, not not a podium finish, but pretty close to one. What can we expect from you, not next week, but the week after at Watkins Glen?
You can expect me to be a lot faster because I am a lot better at. I practically suck at this track. I mean, last season, this was the first race, and in the span of one lap, I spun in the second to last corner and then flipped the very next lap. So I kept all four wheels on the ground this year, and this season. Good Lord, I'm just ready to get out of 2020, honestly. But I'm just gonna be a lot better next week, 2 weeks from now, because I got a lot more speed at Watkins Glen, and I like the track layout we're using.
Yeah, absolutely. The Watkins Glen Classic boot's always good. Fun course to run. Who makes it happen for you? Anybody you want to shout out for tonight?
Yeah, definitely got to shout out Kyle Cuthbertson. His sponsors all over my car, Racing Nation TV. Go check him out on YouTube. I guess I gotta help myself out and give myself a shout out. So if you're on Twitch, go check out Slothy Racing. I do streams weekly, and then Spencer Madden for painting up the main car here, and then I added some decals to it. But Spencer usually helps me out, and he's a good teammate, and we dueled it out there for fourth at the end.
All right, man. Hopefully we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, thanks, man.
That's Cole Freeland.
That's Cole Freeland finishing fourth this evening. We also have another driver to talk to. It's Anthony Pritchett, and I'm actually going to turn this one over to Emerson Ardon because, to my knowledge, these two are buddies.
Yeah, just a little bit. Anthony, this is the Pit Stop TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, hey guys. How you doing?
We're doing all right. After watching that race, that was wild. I saw you actually went a lap down at the start of the race. What happened there in that start?
Yeah, I got caught up in the grass and took it right to the wall. So had to take a tow in and fast repair from lap one. But all in all, it was a good race after that.
Right on. And then that safety car restart, I believe it put you back on the lead lap, but you restarted 9th and you were up in the top 5. Kind of describe working your way through that safety car restart then.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely fortunate for that safety car. Got that lucky dog, get back on the lead lap. And my plan was just to hang out with everybody, just keep pace, do my best there. And I think a few people went off, and that's where I got a few positions and just tried to, hold my own against these guys. There's some really fast guys here and just trying to hang with them.
Right on. Well, you have anybody you like to thank for your run tonight, keeping the car on track, a nice P6?
Yeah, man, this great car was sure hauling.
All right. Well, that is Anthony Pritchett, our 6th place finisher. And we'll hope to be talking to you more throughout the season.
All right, thank you guys very much.
Anthony Pritchett rounds out the ninth in 6th position. And Trey Patton, I guess you gave me some of your English abilities because suddenly I don't know how to speak. But an interesting night here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Very quiet night, I feel like, once we got by that safety car, that full course yellow early on in the race. And it was just some pit stops, and, well, they all drove apart from one another, it seemed like. But we exit Canadian Tire into an off week. Next week, we'll rejoin you guys at Watkins Glen. But before we do that, let's go ahead and walk down our race results. Trey Patton, take the top 10.
Yeah, finishing first with the win by 16.5 seconds, we have Aaron Smith. Finishing second, we have John Morgan. Eric Block third. Cole Freeland at fourth. Spencer Madden fifth. Last car on the lead lap, our 6th place finisher, Anthony Pritchett. 7th place, we have Richard Colum. 8th place, we have Scottless Rambler. Justin Ford 9th, and rounding out our top 10 was Elijah Gracia.
back half of the field led by Ian Wilson. Then it's Daniel Falkingham in 12th, 10 laps down. He parked it in the late goings here at Mosport. Tom Mercier parks it after that incident down the Mario Andretti straight. He finishes in 13th. It's Don Hunter in 14th. He was also in that incident with Ramler and Mercier. Nate Stewart finishes 15th. 32 laps down. It's Kyrie Smith in 16th, 33 laps down. Rick Ray Vaughn only completes the one lap, ends up 17th, 35 laps down, and Nathan Lewis does not make the start of this evening's event. Trey, tell us about some of our partners once more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start off with Tucson's Sound Art. Your picture, your music. Provide the image you want, and they will create a beautiful, framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in speaker, Bluetooth speaker. With Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info. Up next, we have Permanent Makeup in Maine. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. At Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, the owner, Ashley Boyer, is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. If you're looking for the best solutions for your PMU concerns, give her a call today to book a consultation. You can contact them at permanentmakeupinmaine.com or call or give them a text at 207-358-8683. Again, that number is 207-358-8683. If you go to their Facebook page, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, ampersand for and, you'll see that they do monthly giveaways. If you submit your entry, who knows, you might just win. Lastly, we got Whiplash Media, Pit Stop TV's new parent organization. Whiplash Media specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, and iRacing camera packs, and more. Whiplash Media has also been working on their presence in real racing, such as photography, social media management, and public relations. You can find us on Facebook or go to our website, whiplash-media.com for additional info.
And that concludes our coverage tonight of the SRCA Indy Pro 2000 series from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Pit Stop TV, thanks to you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Tune in again, Tuesday actually, as the Operation E Motorsport iRacing League heads to Road America. And we're still working out the details to make sure we can bring you the Bluegrass iRacing Series on Wednesday from Charlotte, but if not, you can catch them the week after at Pocono. It's going to be a light week next week for Pit Stop TV. I'll see you guys from Colorado. That should be a lot of fun, and then once I come back, we'll have more racing action, and we'll be back in full force. Make sure to follow us over on Facebook at www.facebook.com/pitstoptv, over on Twitter at pitstoptv_, on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, and on YouTube by searching Pit Stop TV. For Trey Patton with me in the booth, Emerson Ardon on social media, I am Andrew Cardinale IV with Pit Stop TV, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.